Live from our living rooms, it's the second annual Vladi Dadi'S, brought to you by High Spots and Cheap Pops. Now here are your hosts, Silicon Steve Valli and Vladi Dadi'S.
And we are finally back for the last installment of this year's Vladi Dadi'S. Vladi, what are the last two categories?
Next category for these Vladi Dadi'S are none other than Male Wrestler of the Year.
And the nominees are, Jon Moxley, former AEW world champion, two-time world champion, and many people consider the ace of AEW. Number 2, the head of the table, the one you should acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns of the Bloodline. And number 3, even with the laugh, rounding out, making it the third member of the Shield to make this list, the Visionary, the Revolutionary, the Cackling Fool, and damn it, the best bell-to-bell guy in WWE, Seth frickin' Rollins, who will win the second after, of course, last year, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson won Best Wrestler of the Year, Best Male Wrestler of the Year. Vladi Dadi'S, who is the pick in the 2022 Vladi Dadi'S?
Here's the pick, and allow me just to go and give you a view into my mind about this selection. I got to acknowledge that Jon Moxley put that company under those toxic conditions on his back and did a hell of a job.
The promos, too. I mean, his promos, every single promo was an 8 or a 9. He didn't have any 10s, but everyone was an 8 or a 9.
And you know, you and I, we discussed on the show, there's certain things that I'd rather Moxley not do, but it was great with certain opponents with him. He would change it up a bit. And maybe they'd reel him in a little bit. And I'm like, man, this is like what I'd like to see. And that sort of like scratching that surface. Under those conditions, what he did, I have got to acknowledge. He did a hell of a job for AEW. And he is a true company guy there, and their success is really parallel to his success right now. So the right guy, the right place. I gotta say, Jon Moxley, excellent job this year, right? However, he did not win. So now let's discuss Seth Rollins. Talk about bell to bell, which is one of your favorite terms when we get to discussing talent. I don't think there's anybody better right now. I think he's that good. And considering what he did performance-wise this year, just incredible.
He's the only one to beat Roman Reigns in this entire run. Only one to beat Roman Reigns head-to-head. And that story still needs to be told.
Yeah, and it's strange because like his in-ring performance is so just spectacular. Like it just shines. And then this crazy character where you and I, like, we deal with it, but the laughing's a bit annoying and blah blah blah. But it's like even that aspect of the character is not killing that Visionary and Seth freaking Rollins. And he has had a hell of a year. However, that year was not good enough to win this year's Vladi Dadi'S. So this year's winner is none other than our tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
The head of the table in the Bloodline, getting another Vladi Dadi'S. They're all over the nominees, all over the place. The Bloodline again, it's the big one. Roman Reigns getting Male Wrestler of the Year, well deserved. And again, we talked about it. We've talked about it a couple times the last couple of weeks. He has built such a mystique about him. And every time he wrestles, even if it's his past week on SmackDown on a big tag match, or if he's in a he's in a 6-man tag, it's special. But every one of his matches had that big fight feel, whether they're in London or whether they're in England, whether they're in Saudi Arabia or whether they're in New York City. It doesn't matter. Roman Reigns is box office. He has become the absolute biggest name WWE has seen in a very, very long time. And coming up on 1,000 days coming up at 900 days as champion, which is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, all those reasons are, rolled into like basically why I chose him. To me, he is like the epitome of professional wrestling right now.
It's amazing.
Like his character work is great. I don't want to you get like people that are just rabid, like anti-Roman and like comment sections and things of that nature, like really degrading that guy's skills. Again, he's not Bret Hart, but Roman puts on an exciting WWE match at this point. Plays the crowd beautifully. His mannerisms, his acting is just, it's like movie quality work at this point. This guy could have his own television show, really.
And you never saw a guy carry the company. We talked about it. You never saw a guy carry the company that wasn't over the top in terms of big personality. He's always calm. He's always collected. Hogan was, Ultimate Warrior. Bret Hart, maybe not so much, but even still, Bret Hart, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there and have the best match of the night, damn it. And you're a homo, Shawn Michaels. He made a reference that Shawn Michaels, that Playgirl was a gay magazine.
Oh, he went that route.
Oh, yeah, he went that route. It wasn't like I made that up just to be shocking. I mean, it's 20-something years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels probably did things with Vince. Nobody else ever got away with acting like that in the history of the WWE as a top guy.
It's not your boy toy.
You are my boy toy. Now get in here. Tell me how you want to get rid of Vader.
I told you, Vince. He won't go to the laundromat. I told you.
All right, we're going to be moving right along on the Vladi Dadi'S. We are doing the best so far. Great episode so far. Just to recap, we had for Rookie of the Year, we had Solo Sikoa. For the Vladi Dadi'S for Promo of the Year, we had MJF calling Tony Khan an effing mark. The Vladi Dadi'S for Most Awful Tag Team of the Year, we went with Top Dollar and Ashanti Adonis Hit Row. Most Awful Female Wrestler of the Year, we went with my personal favorite, Ronda Rousey. Most Awful Men's Wrestler, Hit Row's Top Dollar wins his second award of the night. and most toxic work environment, AEW and WWE. Great job, guys. Best Tag Team of the Year, of course, going to FTR. Female Wrestler of the Year going to the EST Bianca Belair. And the Male Wrestler of the Year going to the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. What is the very next category we're going to go to, Vladi Dadi, for your second annual Vladi Dadi Awards?
And we are at our final award of the night, Mr. Silicon Steve Alley. So the final Vladi Dadi of the night is none other than Match of the Year.
And the nominees are for Match of the Year: War Games, Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. Cody fighting with a torn pec. Gunther and Sheamus from Cardiff at Clash at the Castle for the Intercontinental Championship. And finally, FTR and the Briscoe Brothers, their third battle in the dog collar match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Vladi Dadi, the winner for the best match of 2022 in the second annual Vladi Dadi's is...
It is none other than Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell.
Wrestling has more than one. I'm just kidding. A brilliant match. Seth Rollins doesn't get nearly as much credit as he deserves in this match, taking care of Cody and making sure that match was brilliant. Cody obviously went through the pain and had to deal with all of that. Absolutely, it was a legend-making match for both men, but particularly Cody. Many people are saying he'll be back right around the Royal Rumble. We're only a couple weeks away. Vladi Dadi, why did this match beat out the remainder? All great matches, and there's probably a few that Going to be honorable mentioned as well at later dates. But give us your reasoning for Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, 3 Hell in a Cell.
It was a tough decision, really, because even, I saw the dog collar match with FTR recently with the Briscoes. Beautifully violent match between 2 of the better tag teams on the planet. And you could just tell their love of professional wrestling and what they did there. It was like a throwback match, something I wasn't expecting. And I know how good FTR can be, but I didn't realize that they could be that good, especially in those circumstances. So that was really heavy on my mind with them in the mix here. And it was a situation where I looked at that and I looked at the circumstances with the Hell in a Cell. Cody, injured beyond repair, takes off that robe and sucks every ounce of energy from the crowd. All of a sudden, this is real. This guy is going to be in a Hell in a Cell match with the best worker on the planet. No rules, basically. Totally encased in steel. And they ran with that as a main event. And to go and watch and rewatch that match and understand what Cody Rhodes had to go through, wrestling one arm basically, and you would be totally ignorant if you didn't realize how good Seth Rollins is to go and guide somebody with that sort of injury through the match and make it believable. It's really just a work of art between those two. And I think that match in the history of wrestling, because I think that you and I would agree, there's something magical happening for Cody right now. And we're still not sure what's going on with Roman. Is it going to be Roman and Rock? It's going to be Roman and Cody. Well, you know what? If it turns out to be Roman and Cody, which before you know it, it's going to happen. 2 bloodlines crossing here. And you're going to look at that match and how Cody earned his to get through Seth Rollins in those conditions. He's earned that title. And he's going to be a huge babyface for them. And that's going to be a major thing. And then you're going to look at Seth Rollins' history for every banger that he has. People are going to look at that and be like, he was able to go help pull that off. It's a beautiful job by both guys. They're extremely talented. It's a work of art. So they definitely have the best match of the year with this year's Vladi Dadi'S.
And that will wrap it up for this year's Vladi Dadi'S. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. And you can watch all the rest right here on High Spots and Cheap Hops YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe. Much love to y'all. And let's look to a great 2023.